Welcome to the N1 Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Sadu, and today we are going to be chatting about how to tell whether you're working out too much or not. So I've broken this down into 5 telltale signs, which we're going to go through, and then I'm going to provide you with a few solutions or practical takeaways in which to go about getting your body back on track if need be. We all know that you can exercise or move too little, but the opposite is also the case, and that you can absolutely exercise or move too much. So the first thing to look out for around working out too much is sleep disturbances. If you're having restless sleep, you're waking up frequently throughout the night, you're finding it hard to get back to sleep, and then that's resulting in waking up feeling unrested, this is a classic sign of overtraining. Now, it's important to be sure that you're buttoning up all of the basics first, meaning if your sleep hygiene is shit and you think that you can't sleep because you're working out too much, it's likely not the case. It's much more likely that your habits around sleep suck. So be sure to get those lined up first and foremost, and then reassess whether you're still having interrupted sleep or not. What is good sleep hygiene? Get adequate light exposure during the day because light entering your eye is how your body knows what time of day it is. Be sure to do the opposite at night, so dim your lighting environment at night. Skip the electronics. Essentially, don't do anything too stimulating when you want to be winding things down. Also, quality nutrition and stress management play into good sleep, so address these factors as well. But if you're consistently doing all of these things to set yourself up for good sleep and you're still not getting quality rest, you might be overdoing things on the exercise front. Number 2 is appetite suppression. Now, it sounds sort of counterintuitive. However, training too much can actually suppress the appetite to a point where you don't want to eat a whole lot. And it's counterintuitive because you'd think that your body would ramp up appetite in order to enhance recovery and heal itself from all the training that you're doing. But it's actually the opposite. So if you find yourself not all that hungry when you think that you should be given your activity levels, you might be doing too much workout-wise. I've experienced this personally as far as appetite suppression goes from overtraining, and it's sort of bizarre, again, because logically you'd expect it to be the exact opposite, so be aware of this one as it's a bit tricky. Number 3 is an elevated resting heart rate. I've experienced this one as well, and the way that I caught it is via my little meditation app on my Apple Watch. I do 10 minutes of meditation each morning, and my app reads my resting heart rate, and I've noticed that when I'm doing too much training, my heart rate is elevated. So for example, a very normal resting heart rate for me first thing in the morning is in the range of 50 beats per minute, give or take. But if it starts to creep up into the low to mid 50s or even higher, I know something is off. Now, it's worth mentioning that poor sleep will increase your resting heart rate as well. So this is where the sleep quality factor we addressed before ties in with heart rate. As a side note, I've also noticed that alcohol intake will increase my resting heart rate above where it normally would be, and that's just because alcohol does an amazing job of fragmenting sleep and reducing sleep quality. So if you've had a few drinks or you just had an off night or two sleep-wise, your heart rate could be related to that and not an overtraining scenario necessarily, so just keep that in mind. Number 4 is injury status and joint health. If you keep getting injured or you have nagging injuries that just won't seem to go away, you may be training too much. Reason being is, working out causes damage and your body then sends resources to heal that damage. But if it's busy cleaning up the damage that you're causing via your workouts so your body can grow back stronger and adapt, it may not be able to keep up with the demands on your joints or background nagging injuries that could be at play as well. So that nagging knee pain, low back pain, elbow or shoulder pain could be a sign that you're working out too much and your body just isn't able to heal itself because you're constantly stressing it via daily training, and therefore it's busy cleaning up the day-to-day mess, so to speak, and there aren't enough resources to sort through that nagging knee, low back, elbow, or shoulder. As an aside, if you're experiencing joint issues and you know that you're not training too much, I'd recommend listening to episode 126 titled Joint Health Explained, where I take you through what the key things are to consider when it comes to joint pain and how to address it. Number 5 is excessive soreness or lack of soreness at all. Now that may sound sort of strange, but both of these things can be signs of overtraining. Excessive soreness is obvious because it says that your body simply isn't recovered. However, lack of soreness via challenging your body can be a sign that you're doing too much as well. It can also be a sign of adaptation in a beneficial way. However, if you have things like sleep disturbance, appetite suppression, higher resting heart rate, nagging injuries along with it, it could be just another sign that you're doing too much on the training front. I've got a bonus one for you, and it's willingness to work out. So if you're normally super motivated to work out and you love staying active on a regular basis, and you're finding yourself just dreading the gym or simply not feeling like doing the activity that you seemingly love so much, that's a good sign that you need to back off as well. Now, obviously, this doesn't apply to the person that just doesn't like working out in general because there's nothing out of the ordinary going on in that case. However, if you're normally excited to train and you recently just haven't been feeling it, this could be a sign that you're overdoing it. Now we're at the what to do part. So let's say you've established that you are overtrained. What are the next steps? Fortunately, it's fairly simple. Scale back and/or don't exercise for a bit. But I know you're probably thinking like, what's a bit? I've got a few options for you here. Take a week off and just relax. And that doesn't mean that you're not moving at all. Still get your 10,000 steps in. Just don't go to the gym. And after that week, you should be itching to get back at your activity. So the back off can not only benefit your body physically, but it can also be a huge mental and emotional reset as far as getting excited about exercise again. If taking a full week off seems daunting, or you think that you're going to, lose all of your fitness, or you're going to get fat, or you might even be scared that you won't be able to get back into the swing of things with the gym from a habit standpoint, don't worry, you will. But if you're still feeling uneasy about taking a full week off, you can take an alternative approach by scaling back on your workout volume and/or workout sessions. I'll use myself as an example. I go to the gym 4 days per week right now. So if I was feeling overtrained, I would just take the whole week off or just half my workouts and go twice for a week instead of 4 times. If I decided to go with the 2-session option versus taking the whole week off, I'd go to the gym and just mess around, have some fun for those 2 sessions. So it wouldn't be anything overly structured, not super taxing, no heavy weights. I'd literally just walk in and do whatever I felt like doing. Personally, this is exactly what I do every 4th week, and it's called a deload. A deload is basically just a fancy word for backing off of training. And for myself personally, I've found that every 4th week works best for me. So I work out 4 times per week for 3 weeks, and then I only work out 2 times the 4th week, and then I just repeat that cycle. This way, I don't ever get to an overtrained state because via trial and error, I've found that if I start to push it to week 4, week 5, and potentially even week 6, the wheels start to fall off a little bit. So I prefer to take a proactive approach by essentially staying ahead of that potential overtraining. Most fitness professionals would probably say that deloading every 4th week is fairly often. However, I just prefer to take this proactive approach because I'm not looking to be a pro athlete or push my performance like crazy. I am doing all this stuff to look good, feel good, and perform well in my life. I don't care about eking out an extra 3 to 5%, if that, on the back end. So I use this proactive approach and stay ahead of the curve when it comes to managing my workouts. So if you're working out consistently and you have for years, you might need to either schedule in proactive deloads like I do, or you can just go by feel and take rest when you need it. Like I mentioned, for myself, I like to take the proactive approach just because I have the tendency to do too much. I'll push myself until I'm fucking broken and bleeding. So just know thyself and plan in a way that sets you up for success given your individual tendencies. Also, it's worth mentioning that this deload concept doesn't just apply to workouts in the gym. It applies to running, it applies to playing sports, whether it be tennis, basketball, football, it doesn't matter. We cannot push the envelope week after week, month after month, or your body will force you to take a break. That quote-unquote break might look like getting a full-blown injury, coming down with the flu or a cold, whatever it may be. Your body will get its rest no matter what. So you can either work with the operating system that is your body or against it, but in the end, like I mentioned, it'll get what it needs. It is just so much easier to keep up than it is to catch up. So by listening to your body and what it's telling you, you shouldn't ever have to catch up, fortunately. If you're interested in applying for one-on-one nutritional coaching and or workout design with me, you can click the link in the description below or head on over to n1fitness.com/coaching. Follow me up on Instagram at n1fitness and feel free to friend me on Facebook at Marcus Sadu. Lastly, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're using. Feel free to leave a review on that platform as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next episode. See ya.